Hello everyone. Welcome to Drakenmemoria. So, for those of you who might be wondering what this is, well, it's Dungeons and Dragons. More precisely, a group of people playing Dungeons and Dragons. And some days trying to play Dungeons and Dragons. But, usually it works rather well. For everyone else who might already know why you're there, or maybe you just don't care and say, oh, it's Dungeons and Dragons, it's good enough. Well, to all of you, welcome into our little group. It's a pleasure to have you all with us. I thought I had something else to say, but apparently I don't. So, I was
You
sure.
do not validate parking.
Yeah, no, I'm not. It happens. All right, so I hope you are all having a good week so far, with Christmas almost there. We will be there next week and the week after, because we are on Wednesdays. So, fear not. We're just not sure what the episode's gonna be about, because there are a few uncertain things. But it will be Dungeons and Dragons, and don't worry about it. As always, a small thank you to Chaotic Calling, who always eventually raids us during the night. So if you're already there, hello. If you're not, well, you're gonna miss me saying hello to you. So, sorry. And I heard we had a new follower while the screen was there. So welcome among us. It's a pleasure to have you with us. We're gonna do our best to not disappoint you. And if we do, well, it's Christmas. You're supposed to forgive us. And always, Kearney City Guild for letting us post that we are live now. Sorry for not giving you more heads up. It was a bit late, but yeah, like letting us advise about our show. And for all of you watching, if you're wondering who those people are, there are links below the window. If you're watching on Twitch, in the panels below, there's one for special thanks. And if you're watching from YouTube, well, in the description below the window, there are links to Kearney City Guild. It's a Discord channel for D&D. So players, dungeon masters, looking for group, looking for dungeon masters, for non-stream game, stream game, all of that. And Chaotic Calling, well, it's another Twitch channel with Dungeons and Dragons. So if you like Dungeons and Dragons, you might find something you like somewhere in all of these. Might. You never know. All right, so I think that's about everything I needed to say. We've had some new arts for each character. Probably gonna try and somehow add it to the permanent window beside each player's name, but just so that you can actually see them, because you're not gonna get a lot of details if I just put them in each player's square. Here are the arts. So the first one is the art for audience. So it's on, for my players, it's on the overlay. That's why you're not seeing it. I'm not gonna show something like this. Then we have Remy with his cat, his newly found cat. So you can finally have an idea of what Remy looks like.
And how adorable he is.
Yeah, what his purple coat. Now we have Fisher, proud slayer of a dire wolf. Sorry about that. Took a little while to come out. So, as you can see, all of the elements are there. There is Terranad on his stomach. And the mismatch parts that he learned not so long ago were all remnants of every single repair that he has suffered throughout his very long lifespan, most of which he wasn't aware of. And finally, Tykar. Yes, I know he is the biggest one on the screen because he is the largest character to show. It's...
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about right. You can just leave it there for the rest of the stream.
So it not only fits his description, but it's psychology also. He is someone that takes a lot more spaces than he should.
You gotta account for the wingspan.
Yeah, that helps. So, now you have a better idea of what each player looks like. So I hope it helps your imagination. And of course, if we ever find ourselves with people wanting to make fan art, well, it's a base that you can start on. I'm probably going to try and find a way to place this somewhere more permanently. And as I've said, I'm probably going to try and modify the interface to place at least the face of each player somewhere in their square. But for now, this is all I had time to do. And also, the nice bonus, from now on, if there's someone missing, I can actually just place a small picture of them so that everyone can see it. Like this. Haha. So you won't be stuck looking at the S of Skype or a black window. That is also nice. So now that we have all of the commercial new bits of information and art, let's get started into today's episode. So, to give a small recap of what happened during last episode, the party mostly tried to prepare themselves for the next quest. Audience and Fisher went to look for old friends and possibly try and gather information about what they might encounter, but seeing as this isn't the closest city, town, or village to where their quest was, the pool of information was a bit diminished, and they didn't get that much useful information. But they still got a few interesting bits and pieces. But they did manage to find the person they were looking for, at least one person they were looking for. Iselina, a young Afhelven woman tending to a herbalism shop, also making a few potions. Remy decided to go get his stuff identified, mostly for the different spices, herbs, and weird powder that he had found. Managed to get a price on his spices, managed to learn that he could dry the herbs he had to make for a few uses of aromatic incense to call his familiar, and a mysterious powder which he wasn't sure what could be done, but said that if he came back later during the day, he would have the answer to what it does. Tykar decided to go get his loot fix because he'd used it to hit someone. Took a little bit of time, but he managed to find a place where he could get his loot fix. Then he decided to, well, explore a bit and find himself in front of a jewelry store. One in which he fell in love with a gem on the wall. One that looked so pretty and was so tempting. And when he learned that the gem costed so much, he decided to enlist the help of Remy to try and steal it. Took a bit of time, but he found Remy. He tried to convince him, but as always with this group, the plan didn't fall exactly as planned. Things stumbled on one another, and Remy figured out that if you have enough money to have a gem like this displayed in your store, you most likely have enough money to buy a few protection for the gem in your store. And so he started scrambling to help Tykar survive this. In more ways than one, as he was faking a heart attack. When all was said and done, Tykar ended wet, disappointed, and slightly humiliated, while Remy was oddly, secretly satisfied, much richer, and generally a lot more happy than in the beginning of the day. Tykar also realized that his object was a bit judgmental, as he used his own word to underline the fact that he'd screwed up. And so this is where we left last episode. So right now, Audience and Fisher are on their way outside of the city to find whomever is bringing the rewards for the past two quests. Tykar is sulking while walking. I don't remember if you said you were going to try and find Audience and Fisher to see where this reward was going to be. And Remy had just managed to sell this bundle of costly spice, and was left to decide what to do next. So, Audience, Tykar, Fisher, and Remy, what are you doing?
Last session pretty much ended on us, so I'll let the other two...
Okay.
Fisher and I are waiting. I guess we've been walking outside, and we're waiting outside the gate looking for any small things that might be appearing from trees with money for us.
Yeah.
When you say it like that.
It was the northeast gate, I believe, that we were going out, that they were going to meet us outside of.
Yeah, Otanel is a very large city, so not only are there several tiers to the city, but outside of the city wall, there are also a few streets, making it look like there's actually a small town in front of each gate, as they are, well, very spaced out. So you find yourself in a small town outside of the wall. Behind you, there are the huge guardians guarding the door, which weren't there when you arrived. But now that you're in the middle of the day and that you can see better, and apparently, Grim was right. When you got there, there was a change in guards. But now they're there, and they are huge. And audience, this is a bit disconcerting for you, because usually, unless you're looking at a statue, you don't really see humanoids larger than you. These constructs are easily twice your size, and they are the guardians of the gates. They're all
big boys.
Yes, and there's something a little bit regal about it, because they are all wearing, looks like armor of a white and with silvery elements, decorations. They both have, well, a 12-foot long, it looks like 12-foot long glaive. And they are unmoving, simply staring in the distance, slightly toward the ground, looking at everyone that comes by. From time to time, you can see one of them just look at someone for a few moments more, just enough for their head to move. Then they start looking straight in front of them once again. There are a few guards, but you get the feeling that a lot of people might find this intimidating if they're after trouble. In front of you, there are maybe 2 or 3 streets with a few houses, mostly things to sell, and usually the very low end of things to sell. Because right beyond the door, you have the large city, and everything is available there. So, you are in this equivalent of a small town. Not a lot of trees right next to you, but it is a small town. So you have tavern, something that looks like a blacksmith, probably just for small repairs, and make sure that people who go into the fields don't need to go back inside the city to have just a wheel repaired. And it's about a little afternoon, I think. So it's pretty busy right now.
Okay.
It's a very large city also, so there's a lot of races right now. A lot of halflings, humans, and half-elves. These seems to be the most predominant. But you get the feeling that because of all the flying and floating ships, there's also a lot of other species. So you can see pretty much everything, and a little bit more gnomes than what is normal for Estrin.
Alright, I'll turn to Fish. I'll be like, should we just wait outside? Should we just wait right outside the large gate, since he'll probably come to that?
Yeah, might as well. I mean, you said there are like a couple trees out here, right?
It's a small town that's right next to the walls, so yeah, but it's a bit of a lonely tree. You'd have to walk maybe 5 or 10 minutes before you can actually find small groupings of tree, but the forest starts about a day's walk from there in a straight line. So,
well, seeing all the gnomes about, this tree or these couple trees here seem big enough for a gnome to walk through. It's probably come up over here, so yeah, we might as well wait.
Okay.
all right. Just to make sure, Remy and Tykar, are you trying to rejoin Audience and Fisher, or are you going about your own things?
Yeah, I'd be rejoining the group.
All right. Do you know where they are, or are you just moving on and hoping for the best?
I'll just fly around. I guess I'll spot him at some point.
Okay, make a perception roll.
Alright.
Gonna get sniped out of the sky.
I'll see you guys in 3 fucking years. It's gonna be
So you rolled a?
8. Yet.
Oh, goodness. Well, it's a big city, you know. You got slightly distracted. There's a lot of shiny things all around, and you started looking, and oh, wow. That's a shiny armor. Oh, that's right. He doesn't wear armor. But the guy was nice. So you fly around for a good while before sort of figuring out, yeah, they're gonna be looking for someone else. So you go outside of the town and of the city and start looking in the adjacent towns at each entrance. You're eventually gonna find them. Probably not in time to be there when they get whatever they're looking for. Remy?
So, actually, I guess, like, what time of day is it by this point?
Around noon. Maybe drawing close to 1 p.m.
Because Remy does know that the herbalist shop told him to come back sometime in the afternoon.
Yeah.
But I wonder if that's enough time to have passed. At least if we're like talking like definition of an afternoon.
Well, you know that if you're talking to a gnome, technically it's good. For everyone else, maybe that's called being impatient.
In which case, I guess as Ravi is kind of like leaving the spice shop, realizing then at that point that a bit too early to check in on them, so he just kind of like pulls out the orb and calls audience.
Alright. I guess my orb would probably ring or do whatever it does then.
Yeah, that's definitely easy. Remy, you pull out your orb. Syrah answers. You simply ask her for audience. And since she knows you, she is not going to be that confused about how you talk. And so, after a few minutes, audience, you hear a sharp, high-pitched sound coming from your orb, which you know is what happens when someone is trying to reach you.
Alright, I will pick up my orb. Hello?
Ramy's image appears and just kind of like makes a talon wave.
I'll wave. I'll be like, what is it, Remy?
Where are all the bitches at?
Not here. I'd probably say probably at the tavern. I didn't know you were interested in that though. I'm sure there are a couple, you know, it's a large city. I'm sure there are a couple whorehouses down in the lower sections you could probably go find if you want to. I haven't asked yet though.
Yet.
Ramy just as you're giving these instructions, Ramy is just staring hard at the orb.
You get the feeling you didn't understand what he meant. It's a face you're starting to get used to.
Also,
Then
the
he
guy
points
with
his,
the
then
money
he
has
points
not
his talon
arrived
at
yet.
the orb in your direction.
I'll say the guy with the money hasn't arrived yet, so we're waiting for him, and we're outside the east gate.
Northeast gate.
Northeast gate.
Yeah. Roger, Captain. And then like gives another wave and then hangs up.
Right.
All right.
Well, that's gonna be rather easy for Remy to track down. So, while Tykar is flying circle around the city like a vulture, Remy simply makes his merry way toward audience. And Fisher.
Oh yeah, Fisher's there too.
Yep.
A few moments during in your walk, Remy, you look up and you see Tykar flying.
The wrong direction.
Well, Tykar is flying in circle. You know, he's doing it. He's taking a search pattern, spiral search pattern, and so you just see him keep on walking. Then 5 minutes later, keep on.
Remy just shrugs. Keeps walking.
So, audience and Fisher, you wait for a while, and you can make a perception roll. Give advantage to perception on one of you.
Oh, I'll give advantage to perception on Fisher.
Okay.
Here we go, boys.
Usually advantage is enough to help not do that. Yeah. That is a 16.
Okay. So it takes a little while, and you're looking, and Terranad is still on perception.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah, so that's a 14 without him.
okay, so so for you it's
As
14.
always.
For Tykar
As
it's
always.
16. So you just
Also, it was with the advantage one. The first one would have been a 10 without anybody's help. So
So with audience and Internet's help.
oh goodness. All right. Well,
it's all about that teamwork.
yeah.
Makes the dream work.
5 eyes are better than 2. So you're looking right in front of you, and you hear audience, and remember, it's a small one. Yeah, I know. Look around, and then you hear Terranad say, "Didn't they say that they were coming from a tree?"
Yeah. Why, did you see something?
Well, wasn't the person that just walked by Sarn?
Oh shit.
The DC was
Down.
16.
I'll spin around. Hey, Sarn.
So, yeah, all right. All right. So you turn around and Sarn, and suddenly you see Sarn. He's there. He's carrying a large bag of gold, and he seems to be trying to get something out of his foot. You know, he's just rubbing his foot and just dragging it on the ground. Damn.
You step in something?
Something tried to step. Oh, hello. Yeah, someone tried to step on me. Guess I step on them. Now there's blood on my feet.
That's
Fair enough.
seems
dude.
like a tail.
Well, Tell isn't that far off, actually. Did have quite a tail. But I think it was again from those guys from the hunter cult. You know, they had 5 direwolves with them. Yeah, 5 direwolves, and there was one of their priests, and I think you're gonna like this. It's your kind of reward, I think. At least I've seen you smile every time you've seen one. And he pulls out from behind his small cloak a wanted poster. Here, I think it's you. And it's actually you, audience. You can recognize yourself pretty well. The bounty has went up. You're worth...
Oh, good.
Yeah. No, you're worth 1,200 gold right now.
Jeez.
You know what? Feeling pretty good about that. You know, we're shooting for 10K at some point, but you know, it's a start.
When it gets high enough, we'll just
Turn ourselves
you
in.
and then break
Yeah,
you
that's
out.
it.
Exactly.
We're gonna pull Dalton on them.
I mean, to some people, audience is already priceless.
I mean, you could pay off his bounty right now if you wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want, you could pay us the bounty.
Turn in audience to ready.
So I own you now.
That's a bit of a stretch.
You gotta pay first.
No, that would 0% never happen.
I'll turn to Sarn. I'll be like, so did you take care of them? Are you injured at all?
Nothing serious. You know, they're... It's one of those advantages of having been... having spent this long in the glaive. Apparently, there's a lot of spells that all of you forgot. They didn't expect me to be able to defend myself with leaves. It was a real shock for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
You really got to leave you alone.
You've from an outside perspective, if they don't know you, it makes sense that they would think you're not very powerful. More of an easy target.
Oh, well, I guess they're very judgmental, discriminating.
Like I said, for those who don't know you.
Yeah. I would have imagined they'd learned something from the first time they tried, but, you know. It's also true that none of them came back alive, so...
I was going to say, did you leave any alive to learn the lesson from the first time? Because
No, it's the use. I knew they were going to come back.
well,
You know, you leave some alive. Remy, this is exactly when you arrive, and you hear Sarn say, you know, you leave some alive when you think they can learn from it, but if you know they won't learn from it, really no use leaving any of them alive.
Not
Fair
the
enough.
first time Remy has heard that phrase. Although, actually, I'm gonna roll one quick thing here. It's like because I realized. Okay, that's pretty low. Just Raimi when he acquired the box forgot to put it away, so he's just kind of like walking with it in front of him.
All right, I'll turn
And
to
then
Cern.
as he's
Then
approaching, looks down, then tries to put it away.
Wow. Yeah.
I'll turn to Cern. I'll be like, "So, do you have anything for us from the garden?"
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the bag, of course. Well, here you go. I think there's a lot of it inside. He jiggles it, jingle it. Sorry, I had too much Christmas in my mind. He jiggles it. Okay. He shakes the bag.
There you go.
I keep having the word jingle in my head. No, that's.
I mean, he jingles it works.
Yeah.
It's coin.
Yeah, it works fine. Although, as this familiar sound echoes around them, Raimi's eyes have just lit up.
Raimi, you're carrying like 150 plat right now. Okay.
Audience
He
does
needs
not know
more,
this.
Sam.
Audience does not know this.
I know.
all audience and Fisher know is that he's got a new small wooden box.
How can you get so much more excited about gold when you just got handed like a fortune?
There's
It's
never
not the
enough.
value of the gold that matters. That's not the point.
So he hands you this bag, which feels a little bit heavy, but so that's for you. It gives you the bag, audience. Well, it's for you and all your friends, you know.
Yes.
She said that you were going to figure things out, how to share the wealth.
Split. Yes. We will split it.
Yeah, I really don't have a lot to do with gold. You know, it's good to buy special material component, but other than that, you know, not much use for it. But I'm sure you can find something to do with it. You fighting types usually need it more for weapons and armor and Fisher.
Yep.
Sierra told me that your friend, for you did the mission, Kaharthane, he said that he talked to Karent. If you ever need research for a spell, they can do you one for free. One.
Cool. Were they more specific about research for a spell?
No, he just said that for research for one spell as part of the payment, you would get the assistance of the garden for your research. In D&D term, it's one free research. You won't have to pay the gold to learn this to add the spell.
To a spell book. Okay, I get it.
So you won't have to pay to add, but you still will need to pay the time. So it's a free spell.
Well, that's pretty nice.
That's
Sweet.
really good.
I mean,
just walk up. Hey, man, how does Finger of Death go again?
that's if only that was how that worked.
It's like I think I'm
Yeah,
not
sure, I
my
know
first
it. I'll
right.
never be able to get a 6th level spell slot to cast it. Or 7, something like that.
Details.
You can dream.
Just read the words, you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it's worked. That's how
we will keep that in mind. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's it. Unless I've missed something, but I'm pretty sure I haven't. Oh, and I know you like this. And he takes out a bag that is dripping wet with blood, and he gives it to you, audience. I know you like meat. I carved out a piece of the hind leg of one of the dire wolf for you.
Oh, thank you very much. I will. You know what? I guess I'll try it. I've never eaten any dire wolf.
Judging from the weight of the bag, it's a pretty large steak that you have.
I just think to myself, oh, the inn's gonna hate me again.
All right. I think that's it. Yeah. If you don't need me, I'll go back right away. I don't like large cities. They're unnatural. And he kneels down, and he seems to be taking a small pebble, but when he picks it up, there's nothing in his hand. But he looks at it as if there's something there, and it's really not healthy in here. I mean, and he puts it back on the ground gently, but also with a slight disgust. And yeah.
Well, good luck in your travels back. Hopefully you won't run into any more cultists.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure not. I've asked nature to tell me if there were more. She said that, well, can't give me information inside cities, so, there could be some inside the city, but outside the city, the closest group is about 3/4 of a day to the south, next to the lake.
And how large was this group that she mentioned?
Oh, it's just 2-person. One felt like someone who had divine favors, and the other one just felt like someone who spends a lot of time in nature, but not the respectful kind in nature,
Okay. We will keep that in mind.
I think they were coming up north. So, Who knows? You might get to meet them.
Well, if we run into them, we'll, take care of them.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. They're not that impressive. I heard a lot about them, but,
Sorry to make you come here if you don't like it. I was kind of under the impression that whoever they were sending was already on their way, but
Oh, I'm going a little bit further up north. More to the west, on the other side of the mountains, close to the ocean. It's where I'm going, so it's in the same general direction. It's just making a stop a little bit before reaching destination. But I usually try to avoid towns, and towns aren't that bad, but large cities like this feels like walking in a graveyard.
Mm-hmm.
oh, sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. No harm done. Well, no new harm done anyway. He looks at the city and the walls of the city. Said, "Most of the harm has already been done."
Not gonna get into that. But...
Just one more thing before you
Yeah.
run away again. Who was it again that I was supposed to go to for help with the research?
Karen.
Karen.
He's the warden in charge of all the research. Pretty knowledgeable fellow.
Mm-hmm.
Not to be confused with Karen, a frequent visitor of the complaints department.
Yeah, there's a T at the end. Makes all the difference.
Well, then, have a safe rest of your trip, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry about it. He looks around. You see him stop looking in the bush. Yeah, I think it's going to be good. So, see you. Have a good day. He watches audience, then Fisher, and then Remy as he waits.
Before, one more thing. Sorry.
Yeah?
Keep pestering you. I remember last time we ran into you, you know quite a bit about dreams and stuff, or you were quite insightful into the ones we'd had already.
Okay. It could be.
It's just we had another one.
Oh.
That was very interesting.
Okay.
Recently. Where we may have met an avatar or of some sort of Moss.
Okay.
But then when I was talking to... Was it Karen that I was talking to the first time about the dream?
No, you were talking to Kaharthane.
Kaharthane, right.
Also known as Rust Bucket.
Yeah.
Or Rusty.
When I was talking to Kaharthane, he was saying that maybe it wasn't, or just, he was saying that what we described as the contents of the dream didn't seem accurate to what Moss is usually about. Do you know much about him?
I don't know much about gods. I frequently talk to nature. Some people say that it is actually a god that's behind it, but nature has never asked me to call it a god, so... but I have a bit of knowledge. There's quite a bit of information floating inside the glaive. What exactly happened?
Well, we were in a bunch of fog, and it kind of just felt like we kind of just asked it stuff, and it responded. But then when we tried to learn what it was, right when we saw his symbol on an obelisk, the dream ended.
Okay. Well, from what you're telling me right now, if it's the same as trying to talk with the forces behind the glaive, feels like you tried to force an answer which on its own carried so much weight that that's all you could get from it. So that's why it ended, because that's also a good thing, because it means you've asked a good question. But answers to good questions aren't always obvious to understand.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember exactly what was your question when you asked?
I asked about if constructs gaining sentience in the world was something to do with gods imbuing them with it, or them just, I don't know, evolving or something like that.
And the answer was the symbol?
No, the answer to that one was I needed it, and only those with potential.
Well,
But then
that fits with nature. I mean, why does an animal receive a soul? Because it has what it needs to have one. Why does an entire field of flower only possess one soul? Because a flower...
Flowers have a soul?
Well, take it as the personification of something. I'm sure you've heard that sometime oak grow a dryad.
Yeah.
And sometime a forest can grow the same thing, or a lake, or a mountain. Why one soul for an entire forest when an oak on its own can have its own soul? Well, that's the raw potential. So you need to reach a certain point of development for a soul to be able to attach itself to you. As long as you haven't reached that point, you might share a soul with a lot, but you won't get your own. So what you're saying is that a soul recognized that you had reached a point where you could be your own person, where you could have your own soul. But only gods create souls. So it's something that happens on both ends. Someone created it, but if you couldn't bear it, it wouldn't have come to you. That's how an animal has a soul. Nothing tells me that you'd be different from that.
Makes sense, I guess. Well, thanks.
Well,
for,
no problem.
yeah.
I don't know how it helped, but as long as it helped, that's good.
Thanks for the gold.
You're welcome. Anything else?
I don't think so. It was good to see you again.
It's always good to see people you know. I agree. And speaking of people you recognize, I think you have a friend coming on right now. He points up and you see Tykar flying up ahead in the sky.
I still
Have
don't
you
know who
met
you
him
guys
before?
are.
Well, I saw him once. You know, he sort of acted a bit like a badger. He just came in, got his stuff, and then ran out.
How high is he flying anyway?
Well, why do birds
Drying
fly?
off.
Because they can.
I think the question was how high is he flying,
Yeah, how high?
not why.
That is a question specifically to Tykar.
Alright.
How many bowls did he smoke this morning?
Thykar's a refined man. He doesn't smoke bowls. He smokes out of hollowed apples. That he finds in dumpsters. I don't know, about like 50, 60 feet up.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Tykar, you hear another explosion in your head.
You're flying and suddenly you hear...
I hope Tykar does not have PTSD.
He will before the end of the campaign.
Anti-air.
He will. So Tykar, you are flying and you suddenly hear this explosion in your mind. You look around and nothing seems to have exploded. You look up and said, in case there is a ship falling, nothing's falling.
Okay. Can I roll intelligence or arcana to recognize that this is Raimi fucking with me again?
You can.
Alright, let's go for arcana. 18. Stop it.
Alright, well then Remy, you hear in your head, stop it.
Yeah, that one. Does that one let us send a message back?
Yeah.
Is there one that's just a okay? Yeah, it's a 1-to-1. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's a bit odd when you read the spell because it's a cantrip and it's one action, meaning that the one casting it can cast several in a row and give a long message, but the person who answers only has 6 seconds to answer because it has to be an answer that fits inside a single turn.
Yeah, you'll just hear another message in your head. Keep your eyes on the prize, Raimi.
I'll look down and look for the group.
Well, because you have a fairly good idea of where you were when you heard that explosion, you can easily deduce that from there they could see you. And since you're just 50 or 60 feet off the ground, that gives a pretty small circle. Actually, what is the range of? I think it's 100 feet. The range of
It goes up to 120.
120 feet. So yeah, since you know that spell, you know how the range that it has. So from the moment you heard it, you know that they're inside a 240 feet diameter of the point where you are. So it's basically you just look around, make a perception roll.
All right.
Tykar is
6.
God damn it.
Audience, Fisher, and Raimi, you just see Tykar flying, then flying, then flying, then flying. Feels like you're stuck in a cartoon. Tykar, with a 6, you just keep flying in circle. And where the heck are they? I know they're close by. It's like hearing that that cricket, but you just can't find it.
I'm just gonna. Can I shoot a firebolt past him? I don't want to hit him with it, but then again, with my accuracy with firebolts, it might accident.
Raimi's
may as
just
well
going
shoot
to
it,
open
but
his mouth and he's going to give a loud tiger's roar.
Alright, so you hear a tiger's roar inside your head, Tykar, and simultaneously, oh goodness, you're trying to miss, so that should be fairly easy to do.
To be clear, that one was out loud, not in his head.
Okay.
Like Raimi was actually shouting this one.
Okay. And Fisher giving a signal flare, trying to shoot at Tykar, but not on him. Fisher, make a... I'm gonna give you a attack roll with advantage, because you're trying to hit such a large surface and not hit him also. Just tell me the result.
I rolled the same thing on both, but it wasn't bad. So, 19.
19. Alright, so Tykar, you hear this loud roar coming from under you. You turn around and you see this firebolt, like a signal flare, go.
It's that slow? No wonder I keep missing.
It goes about the speed of a middle-aged men's softball team softball.
Just slow pitch it.
And so you have a very easy time figuring out where all this is coming from now, because unless you really want to try and roll a natural one, you can actually find where they are. But with
If I
this,
roll that one,
but
that'd be
with
great.
this many clues, only if you really want to roll, because I'm not gonna force you to roll.
I rolled for shits and gigs, but I got
Do it.
21.
Well, I can give you advantage.
Fine. That's still an 11.
It's good enough to see them. So you notice them there. Remy smirking. Fisher. You can't tell if he's having an emotion or not.
It's a beat. I don't know how those things work.
Audience, I don't know. I feel like audience is having fun no matter what, so he's probably grinning. But Tykar, you're getting used to audience perpetual grin, so you know that it's not aimed at you. Intentionally, anyway. And just as you see them all, you see this small creature that looks like... Well, you haven't met a lot of Sharoons without hat, but looks like one. He's leaving. He's going toward a bush, and he enters it. Doesn't come out.
Anyway, turns my head towards the audience. So, what's the news?
Well, we just picked up some gold, and I don't think that... I mean, we said, what time is it right now?
With you waiting, Remy arriving, probably somewhere like almost 2:00.
Right. I mean, we said we wanted to leave about this time, so... I mean, I think for at least the first quest, we could always just go and try and get it done and then come back if we want to do any more shopping before we went to, like, the laboratory or anything. Since we can hang out here, since we know there's going to be a portal up in, you know, like a week or so. That we can just use to get back to the garden. Which will just be faster anyway than actually trying to walk back.
Yeah, fair enough.
Fisher, you hear it from... If you hear from inside of you, and I'm sure this has nothing to do with a certain woman coming by.
What? No.
Raimi looks a bit sad, and then like minor illusions, an image of a woman with a pouch in front of her.
I don't.
A woman that you two recognize because you literally talked to her last session.
Oh, okay.
He gives a minor illusion image
doesn't know
of Iselina.
Okay. I'll be like, yep, that's Iselina. We actually have ran into her before. She's an old friend of the party.
We heard you stopped by her shop. Did you have fun? Did you get what you're looking for?
So Raimi points to the pouch in the image and then shakes his head.
Oh, I think he's saying he needs to go pick it up.
I do think that's what he's saying. Yeah, well, does that have to be, I guess, when is that supposed to be done?
I think her exact words like, could you come by again this afternoon?
Well, her shop's literally like 5 minutes away. So why don't you just go grab it? Or we can just walk with you, since I guess we're done here.
Yeah.
Oh, then
Go
Raimi
see if
just
it's
grabs
ready.
your free hand and starts pulling you along.
Okay.
Here,
In the
audience,
meantime, I'm gonna
toss me
look-
the bag. I'll start counting.
Okay. I was gonna say I was gonna glance at the bag to see about how much, but I'll just toss it to Fisher.
So as you raise it...
I trust Fisher. I'm not tossing it to Tykar, however.
Tykar, you see audience look at you for a moment with the bag in his hand, then he looks at Fisher and hands him the bag.
All right.
So
See how it is.
it's a bit hard to count just like that, but so that you can enter it in somewhere. There's 500 gold inside the bag.
Right. And this is the reward for the lake and the... Or just the lake?
Yeah, it's for both, but there's also the favor for the spell, which is from the second quest.
Yeah. Okay.
All inclusive.
Got it.
Do we know how much is from the first and how much is from the second?
You'd have to call the garden to know.
Okay.
I was just gonna say about 5 gold totals from the second, and then we can.
Yeah, I know. That sounds about fair.
I was just gonna split it in half.
Looks at the bag and takes 4 gold. And so Taikar, this is because you weren't there for the first quest. Here's yours, and
I'm getting paid for showing up. That's cool.
well,
Way to feed my ego and sense of self-importance.
well, you're also getting paid for getting
You
mauled.
almost died.
Yeah, you're getting paid for getting panther claws, like or
That's-
large
that's
cat
true.
claws.
The
Right down
paid
your-
payout
The
from your
weight of
hazard pay.
blood you lost in gold.
I don't think we have that much.
But yeah, Rami is just pulling audience along.
Oh yeah, and of course, it's the only part of the reward that's not inside the bag and wasn't part of this, but that one you already know. The piece of metal that you retrieved from the bottom of the lake is being purified.
Yeah.
At one point, you will be able to have it made into something.
We're excited for that point.
So there are multiple rewards. All right, so you gather your things and you head back inside the city. Audience, Fisher, and Taikar, are you following Remy to the shop, or are you going on your own?
I mean, it's up to Fisher and Tykar if they want to follow, but Rami was like pulling an audience.
So, audience, do you follow Remy?
I do not resist his pulling.
I'm just sitting down, divvying up, just like on the ground outside the gate, divvying up large amounts of gold.
Taikar is sitting
That's safe.
between two buildings, counting the gold. Fisher is, Taikar, what are you doing while audience is being led toward a shop and Fisher is counting gold?
I'll head to the shop with the others. I'll let the street accountant do his stuff, and hopefully you won't get robbed while doing that shit.
Like right outside the gate, there are 2 massive.
I mean, their job's to protect the
Cop
city, not
robots
technically
sitting
in the
behind
city.
If he's in the gates and fine, but still a bit of a douche thing. Just like, oh wait, let me just count my gold here in view of
Probably
everyone.
probably one of the poorer parts of the city too, because we're like outside.
Oh, what is this? A year's rent, a clink. Oh, 2 years rent.
So as Remy and
No, this could feed the whole
Fisher,
family for 3 years.
Clink.
as Remy, audience, and Taikar are leaving, you can hear Fisher in the distance go 1, 2, 3, 4, and you hear from the other side of the street a small kid go.
Christ.
Please, sir, we've eaten me sister last night. Can I have a go?
The van is just gonna get swarmed by street urchins.
Just Oliver Twist with his empty bowl of porridge. Fucking up.
Forgot to mention we were right outside an orphanage when we picked up this gold.
And they were all outside playing, and and you see the
It's an
matron
orphanage
arriving.
/ battered women's shelter, just like all in one, just to make you feel extra bad.
And this is
There's a
just
donation
after,
box like 3 feet away.
and this is after their lunch of a slice of bread and a tiny sized cup of water.
They can afford lunch.
Damn, dude, that
That
must
ain't
be
a
well off.
struggle.
Yeah, it's a rancid bread.
Extra protein.
It's the green part, it's full of protein. It helps the stomach. Just like yogurt.
Anyway,
Might make a difference.
All right.
So you all make your way inside the city and you go to the shop. And for you, Taikar, this is the first time you enter this shop. As you enter, it's easy to see that. Oh, actually, what language does Taikar know?
Orin, Arakokra, and Common.
Okay, so as you arrive in front of this shop, you see the name of the shop, which you can't read. But the writing does feel like Elven in its form, so it's probably an Elven name. You enter the shop.
what does it read?
Sorry?
What does it read?
You can't read Elven?
Yes, I can.
Oh. I thought you couldn't. Oh, that's
Elven and
that's why.
Undercommon for
Yeah,
obvious reasons.
yeah, no. It's the Silverleaf.
Okay, I thought you said Elven. Okay, never mind.
No, I mean that's what it's written in Elven, the Silverleaf.
Oh, okay. I heard Sylvan, so it's like,
No.
okay, different language.
If only we knew someone who spoke Sylvan.
So that's what's written in front. So you enter. Of course, the counter you see Isalina. Taikar, you've never met Isalina. It's half-elven woman. She does have a bit of a shy demeanor, but in general, she lives up to the reputation of elf and half elves. Meaning, for a bard, she's more attractive than the normal kind of person, but also there's a slight air of mystery behind her.
All right.
Kind of
Tucker, please don't hit on our friend.
Nah.
You do know that half elf have resistance to some spells,
Oh, using charm person to seduce people is just cheap. Like I wouldn't stoop that low. That's only for stealing money.
All right, so you enter the
Fair
shop.
enough.
Fair enough. You enter the shop, you see Selena there, and oh, welcome back. Audience, I didn't expect to see you again so soon. But I see that your friend is back for his mysterious pouch of powder.
I just came with him because we were like 5 minutes away, and I thought, why not? Because we're gonna probably all leave the city after this on our quest, so might as well stick together.
That's always a good thing to do. Always helps to know where everyone is. It's like my grandfather used to say, never break the party. But of course, adventure never follow this advice. She looks at you.
Yeah.
She looks at you, Taikar, and especially the fact that you have a lute. I'm sure you are aware of this. And she looks at your lute when she says that.
My loot made of elven wood stuff.
Actually, you get a feeling that she's making a comment on the fact that you're a bard and you know legends.
Yes, the legends of there's one I know of a group that went to a cave with splitting paths. They went in, and that's it. Not much is known afterwards.
That's exactly what I mean.
So,
Words of wisdom from the past. That's right, audience. Every single person who split the party isn't in your party right now. From a long ago.
That is, I know it's true.
So, she looks at the three of you and, well, Remy, I believe it was. All right. And she reaches from behind the desk where she's sitting and here's your pouch of very interesting powder. It's actually a dried plant that comes from another shard. A bit of a very vibrant shard, a lot of energy in it. But I believe that the intent of this powder was to duplicate an ability of a lot of Sylvan folk. Are you familiar with the spell which allows you to disappear and reappear in a puff of black or silvery smoke? Maybe 30 feet away? Misty Step.
And it's on the wizard spell list, but
you've seen Nanvara use it quite a bit.
Then in that case, you can make an intelligence or arcana roll.
Oh yeah, that's a 19 on the die. So
So when she describes it, you remember the image of Anvara just going. Well, this powder can duplicate the effect of that spell. There's roughly enough for 5 use. So use it well. And it's yours. She hands you the bag. So essentially what this is a bag full of a dried plant, which when you use one use of it, you can use the spell Misty Step. So it's a limited use object, which allows you to cast the spell Misty Step 5 times.
Nice.
you know what? It's a level 2 spell that otherwise you wouldn't be able to touch until like level 8.
For you.
For me, yes.
Marshall
Like Rainy
pens.
makes a rainbow.
Oh, thank you very much. If you ever go higher up north, I remember when I was very small, I saw the most spectacular rainbow. It's a small island chain that's south of the island chain in which all the Dragonborn live. But there is a special place with a cascade, with a waterfall. If you get there at dawn, right after a double full moon, the rainbow that appears has no word to describe it.
Okay. Let me quickly make a note of proposal locations real quick. Just so next time.
Rainy's eyes just brighten up at the prospect.
Since you're all inhabitant of the shattered continent, you would all know that this year there won't be a double full moon. There will be a double new moon next month. Anything else?
I'll look at Remy. Tykar.
Anything look interesting in the shop? Like, this is clearly an herbalist, which I don't know if there'd be anything cool for someone like Thykar in here.
Probably what would be the most interesting are potion mades from different herbs. Healing potions. That's always an easy one. But you can also easily find a variety of potions. Some of them might be a bit out of your price range, sorry. But from the explanation that you've just heard, her or someone else in the shop knows quite a lot about exotic plants coming from different realms. So it could also be possibly a place where you could come back with exotic plant and have them transform to duplicate lower level spell.
Oh, that's cool. All right. I'll remember the name of this place I can't read the sign of. No, if there's just healing potions, I'm good.
Well, there are a lot of potions, but most of them you don't recognize them. You're not that well traveled. But healing potions, you do recognize them. As you've seen them, you've probably used them once or twice. So you can easily just look around and, oh, okay, there's a few bundle of healing potions.
Is there anything in like a really fancy bottle? Don't care what's in it, just is there a really like fancy looking bottle? He's the kind of guy that goes to La Sac and just looks for a really nice looking bottle. What's in it?
For those of you wondering what La Sac is in Quebec, this is where you buy most of the alcohol. It's the only state-supported alcohol retailer.
See, here you can just go to the grocery store.
Oh no, you can buy some at the grocery store, but they have privileged access to most alcohol.
It's more like liquor and hard stuff that you get there.
You can still do that at the grocery store.
That's insane. That's fucking insane. That should be a thing. You shouldn't be able to buy liquor at the same place you buy guns. That's insane.
Okay.
I mean, you can do it at gas stations too. Actually, but
yeah, but at gas station here, if you find alcohol, it won't have the same quality as.
Then again, oh man, I need to find someone who still sells Four Loko. Like, for real, I need to find still supply that shit.
I wouldn't be able to help you on that. Alright, so you look around and you do see one bottle that looks slightly fancy. The price tag under it is 200 gold. But the bottle itself looks very fine. There are two handles, which seems to be made out of probably silver on each side of the bottle. The bottle itself is roughly the size of your palm. So on each side, there are these silvery handle, and inside of it, there is a shimmering silver liquid.
Okay. I'll take a look at the shimmering silver liquid. And I'll ask, like, hey, what's the deal with this? What's the deal with this product?
Well...
Sorry. I'm so fucking sorry.
That's okay. We forgive you. this time.
Ah. All right, I'll try to limit the Seinfeld shit.
All right. So you take this small bottle and you look at it. You even let the liquid slush around inside. Well, that's actually a very, well, slightly rare but not very potent concoction. Basically, it's mostly for glamour. It's a plant that lives a little bit further up north, a few island chains up, where sometime during the winter the night lasts a lot longer. There's a type of plant there that only grows during the winter. It has this white silvery color, and when you crush the petal, there's actually quite a lot of essential oil that comes out, and it's made out of that. And what it does, when you drink it, for as long as the sun doesn't come up, you will feel, or at least on a visual level, more attractive.
So it makes me hotter at night.
Slightly, it amplifies what is already there physically. In D&D term, basically, it gives you advantage on charisma roll until the sun comes up.
All right, that's decent. What's the price tag on this?
200 gold.
Fuck off! I put the bottle down.
Blackheart just thinks to himself, I don't need the help.
I'm hot enough.
It's not that
200
far
gold per
off.
advantage.
It's not that far off for a level 1 spell that you could buy from a scroll or things like that, and it lasts a whole lot longer than a spell. So
Yeah, I'm good. For 200 gold, yeah, I think I'll invest in a timeshare or some shit instead.
okay. I only have a chart for this. No, I don't have a chart for this. Okay.
Investing in timeshares?
No. I was looking at. I was trying to remember the price of a level 1 scroll for a level 1 spell. It wouldn't change the price that I placed on it. I just wanted to give you a reference.
Oh, for a level 1 spell, I think it's like up to like 100 gold.
Yeah. No, that's why I said it wouldn't change the price, because for a level 1 spell, it's a bit pricey, but you can't find level 1 spells which have the potential to last 8 hours.
Also, this potion would come with no downsides, as opposed to the level 1 spell would most likely correlate with.
Mm. You know what?
And-
I'll just try to remember like the description of that flower in case I come across it.
Okay.
All right, that's enough window shopping. I'm not gonna find anything
Mhm.
worth.
All right, we should head back to Fisher and, get on the road.
Just him at Silvermill Street, 222, 223.
And then you see this kid right next to Fisher going 5, 12, 13, 45. And you Fisher 1.
puts a
Two.
kid in the bag with the money.
Kid would probably like that.
I look around. Are there any other kids around?
Well, you're counting money in the street, so there's no more kid around, but you are drawing a little bit of attention. You do notice from time to time someone passing by and just go,
I will, because I don't want to get fucking swarmed. I will attempt to palm the kid one of the coins and just say, if I give you this, will you shut up?
He looks at the coin, he looks at you, you just go, mm-hmm.
And I will try and discreetly give him one.
He takes the coin, he looks at it.
Now go away.
He
And
runs.
don't tell anybody.
He runs off just as you're saying, "Don't tell anybody." You can hear coming from the other side of the street the kid go, "Hey sis, if you bother him, he gives you 1 gold."
Yeah. That was gonna happen.
This is why you don't just count money in the street.
Yeah, but I wasn't doing anything else.
So when Taikar, Audience, and Raimi comes back, you notice that there are a few children, well, probably more Raimi because he has such a high passive perception. There seem to be a few children hidden at regular intervals, all looking toward Fisher and watching him place the coins. Then at one point, it looks like he's about to drop one, just because it... Oops. And you see all the kids go at the same time. But they don't...
If any of them actually get near, I just stare at them until they go away.
And you can hear them all go, "Ah!"
Fisher being intimidating to children once again.
Yep.
Another small creature being.
No, Fisher, I'll help you out. Like, as Raimi gets about like 30 feet away from you, minor illusions the sound of a roaring tiger sourced from you.
You've never heard your stomach growl like this. You'd already managed to scare off most of the children, but when you hear this loud roar from the tiger coming from your stomach, you hear one coming from right above you. Ah! Little.
I'll go up to Fisher.
Look
I'll be
around.
like,
Do I see them coming up?
Well, I'm pretty sure they're not trying to hide. So yeah.
Yeah.
They're probably coming down the main street right now. And you heard that same tiger roar half an hour earlier.
What's up, guys?
So, you ready to hit the road?
Yeah. This is for you, and I will hand you 125 gold pieces. And
All right.
same for Raimi. And then I will hand Taikar 62 gold and 5 silver. And that one's for you.
All right.
Back up to
Raimi. Actually, Raimi walks up to Fisher and hands him 20 gold.
What's this for?
Rainy Minor Illusions, a very familiar scroll.
Oh. Right.
And with that, Rainy walks over to audience and puts an additional 20 gold in his hand. And there's also 2 small gems in it.
Oh, thank you, Remy. That's very, very kind. You really don't need to, though.
I mean, speak for yourself. Thanks, man.
I'm not
Also, Raimi, by the way, when we get back to the garden, we get if we talk to Karenth, he can teach you another one of those for free.
Rainy makes a rainbow.
Seeing as I don't know what you're doing there yet.
How many gems were there, Remy? Because I'm just gonna.
I gave you 2 gems worth 10 gold.
Okay, thank you.
On top of the 20 gold. But he gave the gems discreetly. I can roll a sleight of hand.
It's fine. I just want to know how many gems I have because it's important for my item.
They're about the same size as the first gem that Raimi gave you. So you can deduce that they are the same value.
Okay. No, I got that. It's not. I get it. I don't really care about the value. I just need to. I was trying to make my dragon companion in my dreams happy.
I'm sure he'd be very happy if you got some platinum.
I have platinum.
More.
He actually wasn't that interested in platinum last time. He just wanted gems.
All right. So, you're all standing in the middle of the street, cartless, but ready to go to the next village?
Or, yeah. Well, we're probably going to go get our cart.
Oh, shit. Right. That might be helpful.
I mean, I wasn't like we're going to leave. I'm just like, we're ready. I assume we're going to go
Yeah.
back, get our cart, and then leave.
All right. So, you gather yourselves, you gather your things, you make sure that no other kids is spying on you, and you decide to make your way back to the inn where you left your cart. You find your cart, you find your horse. He looks slightly bored, but yeah, most horses do. So, gather your things and you leave the city of Otanel. Northbound, well, northeast bound, toward a small village, at the foot of the mountain. This is where we're going to take our break. So, when we come back, since it's a very short trek to that, there's almost no possibility of you encountering any difficulty. Almost. So we most likely will see the next village when you come back from the break.
We also know there's no hunter gods in the area because they're all south.
Exactly. So, see you all back in 10 minutes. Bye. Aha, welcome back. I know I said 10 minutes, but it's a tradition. It's 13 minutes. All right. So, our group...
On the road again.
Exactly. Well, this one is going to be a very short road because...
We're all gonna die? Oh no, sorry.
I was about to say that.
Like that was very abrupt.
You're all walking, and a meteor falls on your head. So
Damn it! A rock did fall and kill everybody.
all right. Damn, that's a bad day for travel.
Are we back? Hurricane?
Super windy again.
Hot, humid hurricane. Yeah.
Well, it's definitely about. Oh goodness. No, because I rolled 20, 20, and 17. 20 means that as soon as you start leaving the city, it's like God just unzipped his pants and started peeing. That's
Okay.
Does it ever just rain a little bit here?
Yeah. What is this?
Just like a light drizzle.
Pouring rain.
and then 20 for the wind, meaning that it stings so much.
We're just in a hurricane.
Yeah, we literally
Just
just
randomly
suddenly
a
it just
hurricane.
became a hurricane.
To be fair, I did a little bit of research. You're just before that reaches an hurricane.
Fuck's
It's
sake,
a
where are
tropical
God's etch a sketch
storm.
right now?
Probably have to grab onto Remy so he doesn't like blow away or something.
And Remy, you're flying! You're flying!
Finally.
And 17,
Attach a
that's
string and fly him like a kite.
17, that's for the temperature. And because it's summer, I rolled for the humidity difference, which was 5. Which means as soon as the rain stops, it's gonna feel like a tropical landscape.
Alright, everyone, roll for swamp ass.
So you start. It only takes a few minutes. You leave the city, and then suddenly rain starts pouring out, and it was a little bit windy earlier on, but you don't know where that wind came from. It just started to howl in the air. Like suddenly there was a beast living in the clouds. And this is how you make most of the day of travel. Fortunately, I also rolled very low on encounter, which makes sense. No one wants to be out in such a temperature except adventurers. So it does take you a little bit longer than usual because of how bad the weather is. But you get to the next village without much of a surprise. When you get there, it's so muddy, and because the sky is completely covered and it's a pouring downpour. Alright, it's always important to give words in the right order because they really sound weird when you don't. It's raining very hard. So it almost feels like it's already night, but you know that there's still a few hours before night comes. But you all get to this small inn, soaking wet. Well, doesn't change much for audience because he's bare chest. So,
Yeah.
and he's usually the one helming the cart. So Tykar, Remy, and Fisher, well, maybe Fisher doesn't care, but Tykar and Remy most likely are under the tarp inside the wagon, hoping that the wagon doesn't topple from the wind. But you have the two heaviest party member sitting on the cart, which means it's fairly stable. But you still have to struggle a bit, and when you get there, Fisher, you're so damp. Feels like the vines inside of you have swollen a little bit. You can swear that there's a leaf growing on your hip. Audience, well, you're shirtless, so your pants are wet, but that's it. You just get there and yeah.
Audience wet his pants. Ha!
And Rami just can't take his eyes off of him.
Sticking to my massive thighs.
From under the tarp of their tent inside of the cart, you can just see Remy, who just bundled up in the side of the tarp like this. You only see his face peering out with his eyes just looking at audience.
Yeah. I mean, I do have tight white pants. If they get super wet, it probably hides like 0.
Yeah, what a massive coin purse you've got there.
Very true.
Fisher looks at him, he says, "True." Remy looks at him and says, "True." But even though Remy was copying Fisher, you get the feeling that they weren't commenting on the same thing.
What's great is that with Ramy's beak, you can like actually tell where he's looking at. You just align the beak with line of sight.
You look at Remy looking at the audience. Oh. Okay. So you get to this small village in the complete and utter downpour. Dripping wet. You manage to pull the cart and just place it, well, in the small stable behind the inn. Get back in. You enter the inn with water dripping down your bodies, because I know even when you are wearing something that's supposed to be waterproof, nothing is meant to last 5 hours in the rain. Nothing. So you are, even Taikar and Remy are still a little bit wet. And of course, it's raining so hard. The moment you enter the inn, there is this silence. And you see everyone turn toward you. And then you hear the inn owner go, "Please tell me no one else coming." Are you insane traveling in this kind of weather?
You mean this, it's a light sprinkle. It's nothing to worry about.
You have one person inside the inn that just looks at you. He looks outside. He pushes one of the shutter, takes his mug, puts his hand out. He's looking at you and going. Takes the mug back in and it's almost full.
I'll just give him a smile. As I said, a light sprinkle. Enjoy the free water.
You see her look. Free water? You hear Gnome go, "Isn't water always free? Who pays for water?"
Yeah, this Sonny hasn't ruined the world yet.
I mean, Rami doesn't have to pay for water anymore, so.
So the innkeepers, well, you have my admiration. Just sit down. If you want anything to eat, we still have a little bit of things ready in the kitchen. And of course, with a few coins, you can always stay the night here, which I recommend.
Can I drop off the direwolf shank in front of him and see if he'll cook it up for me?
Oh, goodness.
Oh fuck, we've heard of you.
So you take this and you realize that you didn't it was a piece of meat that was already dripping blood. So when you take it, there's just this huge quantity of slightly red water that just keeps pouring out. You just give this to the innkeeper. I want to eat this.
Can you cook this up for me?
He looks at you.
Shank of direwolf.
Oh, yeah, sure. He turns around.
True man's meal.
He turns around and says, Honey, I think we have another one. There's a human woman that comes out of the kitchen. You wouldn't by any chance know an orc with a large blade.
What was his name?
I don't know, something weird with 2 words. Kept saying that was his name and that was the name of his blade.
I might know him. You know, I know a lot of, large orcs with blades.
Well,
I don't. Like one.
well, he was here 5 days ago.
Oh, nice. What did he eat?
I have no clue what that meat was. He said it came from a sea creature.
Was he eating a leviathan? Because I know that was the quest he was on.
I have no clue. It was the weirdest meat I have ever seen.
Respect if the man was eating leviathan.
He ate it. I just don't know what the meat was. But he came in, gave me this huge slab of meat, asked me to cook it, and he said that I could serve it to anyone else if there was any leftovers.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, no one wanted to eat it.
Well, I guess I'll do the same with this direwolf shank. If anyone else, I'll be like, if anyone wants a bit of direwolf, I got some.
You see everyone looking at themselves. You see humans, half elves, 1 or 2 gnomes, 1 or 2 dwarves. You see a few halflings. Everyone just looking at themselves. You even see one go.
I'll be like, normally they'll eat you, but today you can eat it. It's a rare opportunity.
Oh. Alright, you get one of the dwarf that says, oh, that's an interesting way of putting it. Yeah, sure, I'll have a piece.
We got a true man over here. Not afraid to be a bit adventurous.
So you get the dwarves. Alright. Well then, if you're paying for the meat, I don't mind paying for your drink.
Thank you very much. How considerate.
So he come.
Rami raises his taloned hand in affirmation. He does not want to be seen as less of a man.
Alright, we got a brave one here. And the dwarf just grabs you in this very manly fashion with one arm on top of your shoulder and just squeeze you on him so hard and so fast. You just go and yeah, come on. And he reaches out to audience for a moment. He lowers his arm and yeah, come on, let's go eat.
Hashtag only Chads eat direwolf.
All right, so since audience is paying for the meat, since Remy wants to be a man, The dwarf is going to pay the alcohol for audience and Raimi.
All right, we'll get something strong with the meat. I feel like you gotta get, especially if I'm drinking with a dwarf. Gotta impress him. Can't get any watered down shit.
So you tell him to just ask for whatever he would normally drink.
Yeah. I don't know. Make it a strong beer, give him a smile.
All right. I like people who have... He looks at you with chest, hair, scales on their chest.
Scales works fine.
Then he looks at Remy. Yeah, I gotta get myself better vocabulary. Looks at his chest.
Remy nods in understanding regarding vocabulary.
So, the three of you sit down, have a free drink, which is a good dwarven drink. Audience and Raimi, make a Constitution saving throw.
That's gonna be a 19 for me.
Okay.
Okay. So, I think I could safely say that Raimi is sloshed. A natural 1.
Okay. I was gonna say this is not the garden alcohol, it's just small village strong alcohol. But yeah, with a natural 1, even that kind of alcohol is going to affect you. Audience, you drink that and, you are in front of this situation where you can say that you've tasted so much stronger, but then again, it could offend the dwarf.
Would I consider it strong? Is it a good ale?
It's a good ale for a village.
Yeah. I'll just say I'm diplomatic. I'll come on show and be like, well, it's no dwarven brandy, but it'll do for a village like this.
You get the dwarf. Yeah. See, I told you, and he points at the innkeeper. See, I told you, you need to get some of the better stuff.
Meanwhile, Raimi is using vocabulary he hasn't used in a while. Next thing you know, he's literally kind of supporting himself. Basically using audience's arm as a support. It's this is great shit, buddy. Another round for the house.
Just looking at Remy all right.
The dwarf looks at Remy and looks at you, audience. The guy speaks like a sailor. It's not a bad thing. Sailors can drink.
You're a great guy. You're a friend.
I know. So are you. It's always fun to see the friends that you make while sharing a decent ale with a good piece of meat.
Repeats in his voice. Good piece of meat. Good piece of meat.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I really just wanted to put it out there, see if Remy would adopt it.
Oh, he will.
Raimi scans all our sessions to make sure he has good lines. He's gonna take it. Come on.
All right. So, meanwhile, audience and Remy seems to be having fun with the dwarf. They get served after maybe half an hour. They get served this huge slab of meat, and they all start digging in.
How does it? Do I like it? I don't like it that much. It's fine.
So, audience, you've tasted better meat.
Yeah.
How much did you roll?
I rolled a 9.
9, yeah. You know, it's average meat, just a little under it. Maybe a little bit of spices would have helped it.
Yeah. Remy had a bag of spices, but I don't remember what he did with it.
He sold it.
Oh, he did.
I sold off.
Remy could have spiced our meat.
It was saffron. What were you gonna do with
Yeah,
saffron steak?
Yeah,
Saffron's-
I don't think saffron would have been appropriate for this particular instance.
Saffron direwolf steaks. What a delicacy.
Mmm.
I don't know. He's still got some holy salt.
Dump some holy
shit.
salt.
Bless the meat.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Tykar and Fisher, as audience and Remy and this dwarf that became friends with them because they wanted to drink with him, are all having fun. What are you doing?
Go ahead.
What time is it?
By the time you reach there, it's something like 7:30, 8 o'clock. So if it weren't for the clouds in the sky and the heavy rain, sun would be starting to set. It would be low light and maybe colors would be starting to appear in the sky, but because of the rain, you can't see anything of that.
I will ask the innkeeper. Do you know anybody that spends a lot of time up in the caves in the mountains?
Well, not in the village, but there's always been a lot of people going into the mountains. It's one of the rare place where you can find a few types of mushrooms and flora that can only be found underground, which is used for a variety of potions and even some spells.
Mm-hmm.
If you go deep enough, you can even find a glowing moss. I think it's a component for some easy spell, light spells.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're actually heading up to gather some mushrooms, but we heard someone else recently got attacked in one of the caves and died. So.
Okay, and then you're going to that cave.
Did you hear about that?
Yeah, actually, heard a bit of rumors. There was this group who went up and they just didn't come back. Gnomes and dwarves, I think. There's also a group from Altanel who came by 2 days ago, and they went up and they said that they just left when they started to get deep enough inside of one of the caverns. They encountered some sort of creature. I mean, they didn't have proper lighting, so they were having trouble identifying what it is. All they kept saying is that something was flailing in the dark, and every time that one of those tentacles touched them, their skin seemed to rot away.
That's gross.
Yeah.
Not great.
There wouldn't happen to be anybody here tonight that's been up in that specific cave, is there?
I think. Yeah, I think the gentleman over there, the one with brownish hood, sitting in the corner. I think he went there this morning. Maybe he encountered something.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. I figured if you're going to go into that cavern, probably need a lot of help.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and can I get a room for the night?
Oh, yeah, sure. I wasn't aware that your type needed room.
We don't, but with how it is outside right now, I'd rather have a roof over my head.
Yeah, I can understand that. So, it's just a small village. We don't have anything as fancy as what you'll get in the large city, but can give you something decent. What do you need inside the room?
You know what? Just a bed that you don't care if it's gonna get really wet, seeing as it looks like I'm still dripping.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay. Sorry, I thought you were going somewhere else with that. Yeah, sure, no problem. I mean, if you don't mind sharing a room with other people, there's a communal room that we have. It's the cheapest.
Sure, that'll work.
It's the cheapest. You get a bed.
That'll work.
All right, 7 copper.
I will give him silver
Oh, that's very generous. Thank you.
for the info, and then Tykar, you want to back me up here? I'm not good at talking to people. I tend to make them hate me or run away.
Honestly, you
Or do you want to sit
demonstrated.
by and get trashed with these two?
Well, I was gonna ask, what's the attendance like?
You get a feeling that there's a good portion of the village there, simply because it's been raining for most of the day, so a lot of them are just there because they're bored and they couldn't do much during the day. So there's a good portion of the village, maybe 20 persons in total.
All right, well, can't be having an inn full of bored people. Bored people don't spend enough. So, if there's a stage or an empty table somewhere.
You could make room, you know?
All right, I jump up on whatever platform I spot and just ring with my loot to get everyone's attention.
Well, of course, you get the attention of more than half of the room because just the fact that you jump on the table. Well,
Evening, gents. We here to party? Are we here to fucking hang ourselves? Jesus. Just like,
you say good evening, gents, and you hear coming from a gnome. It's a woman. It's a female gnome.
Ladies and gents. Lady and gents looking for another woman.
But there are others. She's just the only one who got upset because of that.
All right, offended lady and gents. How are you doing?
Fisher, you notice that woman is looking outside, looking at him, looking outside. You just go. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna start playing music.
All
Try
right.
to get the mood going.
Then a performance roll.
23
That's pretty good.
with a +8. I'm kind of disappointed.
Okay. All right, so you start playing, and easily enough, you see other people starting to just follow the beat. Some of them are beating the ground with their feet. Just, yeah, that's good, that's good. All right. Get a few people who just start standing up, and when you start playing a tune that is a bit more lively, they start dancing a little.
All right. Well, I did my bard thing. What did you guys do?
Raimi, as
Nice.
you're performing, just drunkenly shouts, "Take your top off!"
Oh, that's right. He's still fucked up. Sure, it's wet as shit. I'll throw my shirt at Raimi and probably knock him over.
Weighs like 20 pounds.
It's a big puffy shirt.
And you're wearing leather armor, that can soak up a bit of water also with time.
Just slammed into the bar. Like,
The armor falls on the ground with a big thud. And then a little bit of water. Alright. So, Taikar plays music. Audience and Raimi are having fun. Fisher? It seems
I'm
like...
not sure why you want me to back you up. Like, you're talking to this guy just fine.
I'm gonna go make an enemy for life on accident.
We have to stay with traditions.
Walks up immediately, roll intimidation.
The who? I don't care. I'm just rolling it.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk up to the guy in the cloak and
At this moment, Taikar probably just started playing, so you see that Taikar got his attention, but he's not reacting more than that. Looks like a human, maybe a half-elf, but...
I'll walk up and sit down. Is there an empty chair there?
yeah.
Yeah, I'll sit down.
Either that or you do your best impression of a mime performance.
Yeah,
you
just
know,
pop a,
you don't have to worry
pop a
about, like-
squat, literally.
So you sit
Yeah, no,
down.
I'll sit down in a chair across the table.
He's only half paying attention. He sort of realized that you just sat right next to him, but he just keeps on beating the music a little bit with his hand. Just hello.
Evening. I heard you you were up in the caves earlier today.
Yeah, actually, just before the rain started.
Well, me and some of my friends here are headed up that way tomorrow, and we heard someone died there recently. Didn't want to get caught off guard. Wondering if you knew anything.
Well, not a lot. I went in, sort of got this odd smell of a graveyard when I was in there, and that's when everything started to get a bit weird. Um, but it's also funny because I don't know why there'd be a graveyard smell. You know, it's not a graveyard. There's nothing. There's no dirt. It's a cavern. There's a few mushroom growing, a little bit of moss on some rock. Um, I remember hearing a little bit of water in the distance, but
Have you been in that cave before?
a few times. You know, sometimes they need to gather a few components, and that cave is really the only entrance toward one of those mushrooms which everyone wants for really basic potions. I mean, later on in the cave, it just branches out and there's more than enough space for everyone, but fortunately, there's only one entrance, and you don't have to go very far before you start getting that odd smell. This
Mm-hmm. Yeah. By like graveyard spell, do you mean like something like rotting or
no, you know that.
Like- like the earthen kind of?
Yeah, and slightly damp. It's weird because I couldn't figure out where it came from, and well, that's you see him just go. That's it's kind of odd. It's a bit like you. You have this weird. I don't know. I want to say dead smell. It's very faint, sort of like you've been rubbing in graveyard soil.
I feel like generally I am not good with people, but isn't it kind of rude to tell people they smell like a dead guy?
No, not dead. Just
Weird.
have
That's
you
not
have you ever
important right
taken
now.
have you ever taken a stroll right after a rain inside of a large pumpkin patch?
That is very specific. And no.
You know, because it's a large field, you can. There's this smell of earth everywhere and a little bit of moisture, and then there's a mix of fruit, decaying fruit mixed with it. That's sort of you have this odd smell coming from you. It's a bit the same thing that I mean. When you get it there, there's a point where you start feeling this, and it's not exactly a smell. It's just the feeling of it.
Mhm. Do you know of anything that fits the description of this large mass of tendrils that when it hits you it makes your flesh rot?
Well, I mean, there are quite a few creatures that lives underground, which have similar effect or something like that. You know, I've heard about mushrooms who do the same thing. I've heard about this corrupted creature which looks like it has a lot of eyes, but when you get close enough, you realize that it's just a mass of floating mushrooms. And there's also these small mushrooms. It could fit if it was much larger, but I've never heard about a creature like this, especially fungus one that has this many tendrils. But I've heard about small mushrooms, which have a few tentacles, which can do that. A bit violet in color. But usually the thing is, what I've heard from those mushroom is that if someone is killed by them, after a few days, mushrooms are gonna sprout from the body. So I actually haven't smelled anything that felt like decaying body, so I don't know. But I've never met one. Maybe they just consume the body completely also, so...
Interesting.
In a creepy kind of way.
Uh-huh. Are you looking to head back up there tomorrow?
Me personally, no. Was weird. It was weird enough once. I'm thinking about going back to Otanel, maybe trying to find a group, either to go in with me or for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's kind of what I was leading to. We're going up there tomorrow, and we kind of don't really know what we're looking for. I mean, we do, but none of us have ever dealt with potions or gathering ingredients for said potions or what to look for or anything. So,
sorry, you're new at this.
Yeah, you could say that. But one thing we are rather good at is killing things, or not dying to things. So
well, that's always a good skill.
Yeah, if you wanted to come with us, we could offer you a little more protection, and you could probably help us find what we're looking for.
Well, yeah, I sure don't mind getting you back to where I started to feel that smell, if that makes any sense. Not sure I want to go back inside and, all I saw was all of those tendrils starting to flail around. And even got a bit injured by one. It just touched me, and he shows you on his arm, and immediately started to burn, rot away. No. It's like getting a fungus on your feet. The skin just peels off. You have to rub a weird spongy plant on your feet to get it out.
That sounds comfortable.
Well, usually foot fungus aren't, so...
Yeah.
He looks at you one over and... Yeah, no, I get... You probably don't...
Yeah.
Although, I can
know.
see there's a bit of root, Always be careful about that. You don't want a mushroom growing inside of your belly.
I guess so. I don't know. I'll worry about it if it ever happens. Hasn't yet, so, But, yeah, that'd be... I never got your name.
Oh, usually people just call me Lightfoot, but you can also call me simply... sorry. His name is not...
Eloquent name.
Draren.
Draren?
Yeah. Draren. D-R-A... Damn, I'm not good at just improvising spelling.
B or D?
D.
D.
Yeah.
Okay.
Draren. Like dreary, but finished with an N. Draren.
Uh-huh. Right. Which do you prefer?
You know, among adventurers, why not call us? Why not call each other by our own name?
Fair enough.
What's yours?
I'm Fisher.
Okay, that just adds to
That
the weirdness.
that musical one up there is Tykar,
Okay, he's part of your group.
and then that shirtless one that'd be audience,
Okay,
and that absolutely wasted little Kenku over there that'd be Raimi.
okay, and you sure you want to go in? Because you sort of stand out, and he looks at Remy having trouble walking in a straight line, and I don't know, seem to have low tolerance for small pleasures.
That's why we're going tomorrow.
Probably a good
Let him
idea.
sleep it off a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a bit of a lightweight, but he's literally lightweight, so
He looks it.
not holding it against him. But
Well, as long as he doesn't get me killed, and I'm not holding it against him either.
to be fair, I haven't asked the rest of them if they'd be cool with you joining us, but I'm gonna go with yes, seeing as none of them seem to be thinking about tomorrow currently.
It's always good to keep tomorrow in mind. I know that these monk and priest kind always say that you have to live in the present. But, it's good to always keep in mind what's going to happen a few minutes later.
Yeah. Guess so.
All right. Well,
Well, it's nice to meet you.
it's
I
nice to
guess-
meet you too. I haven't met a lot of very articulate construct. It's always refreshing to meet something new. Someone, sorry.
Hey, you're good. No worries. At least you corrected yourself.
Oh,
Usually when people say that, it's on purpose and meant as an insult, so...
oh. You meet a lot of things when you're an adventurer. I'm sure you'll meet quite a few people who won't judge you, and some who will,
yeah.
very harshly.
Yep. You could say that again. But, yeah, if you want to meet up with us back here tomorrow morning.
Sure, I have a room, so I'll be here fairly early, so. And I'm
Well,
getting a feeling that you won't be hard to notice.
yeah, we stand out a bit.
Especially that one, he points at Tykar.
Yeah.
I'm shredding on the street.
He definitely lives for the attention.
Yeah, well, one day he's gonna get more than just that.
Well, can I get you anything before I head up? Is he like drinking anything or?
Yeah, but there's no alcoholic smell from it. You get the impression that it's something very mild, maybe something like a tea or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
No, actually, I'm good. I want to be sure to be ready tomorrow. Maybe I'm not gonna fight, but I'm at least gonna walk you there. So, gotta make sure that the ring's clear in my mind.
Yeah, that's a smart way to go about it. I'll see you tomorrow morning, and then I'll head over to audience and Ramey's table.
Audience, we've already established that you take this alcohol pretty well, but you've never seen Remy, especially since he is so nimble and so agile, not being nimble and agile.
Also, never actually seen him before during one of Tykar's performances. Always seems to disappear.
How bizarre.
Huh.
And oddly enough, tomorrow no one's gonna complain that they lost anything.
It's like as you approach Fisher, like Rainy kind of like notices, like, "Hey, buddy, hey."
You are wasted.
You get the dwarf who says, "Well, not yet, but he's
I'll
on his
be
way."
as one as I drunk a be.
I'll turn to Fisher. Let the man live. He doesn't.
I wasn't judging. I'm just stating the obvious. But yeah. So I got us a guide for
Nice.
tomorrow. It's a guy over the table over there. His name's Draren. He's been in there a couple times, so he'll better know what to look for. How are you doing? You look like you're handling yourself just a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm doing fine. That's cool. You got a guide. Glad to hear it. Yeah. Did he have any more information about the creature?
Not really. He said it smells like a graveyard, and it kind of rots your skin away when it hits you.
So maybe does something with necrotic damage then, would be my guess.
That makes sense, yeah. But it seems like everybody that's seen it, it's been too dark. So they just kind of describe it as a amorphous shape with tentacles. So,
But we have a lot of ways to create light, so that shouldn't be
yeah,
as
I
big
think
a
we should
problem
be
for us.
fine. We should be fine. But also, I don't think he's going to be. He won't be helping us out with that part. He's just going to be helping us out with the part that we might actually need help with.
Okay,
But
sounds good.
yeah, so he'll meet us down here tomorrow morning. So yeah, I'm going to head out, go to bed. Don't get too hammered. You can't wake up tomorrow.
Okay. I won't.
Yeah. I was more talking about that one.
Rainy
He'll be
is
fine.
Rainy is now like kind of like nuzzling his face in your arm.
Whose arm? My arm or Fisher's arm?
Your arm, because I assume he's still sitting next to you.
I'll say, don't worry. I'll take care of him.
Yeah. Alright. See ya. I'll head up stairs.
Okay. So you go upstairs, you go back to your room. Prepare for the evening. Audience and Remy, how do you end your day?
I mean, I'd probably just, drink a little more with the dwarf, just hang out. And then, bring Remy up, make sure he get us rooms. Make sure he got to his room.
Make sure he gets to his room. All right.
Like,
Make sure he gets to his room,
Yes.
not yours.
Make sure he gets to his room.
For some reason, every time you turn around, you see him start walking in your direction. So, like I said, there's a communal room with just bunk beds and thing like that. But there's also a few rooms that
I'm gonna
are separate.
skip the communal room.
All right. So,
probably
you
a
can-
wise decision.
You can all have a room for 1 silver. It's a very
Okay.
minimalistic room, just a bed, footlocker for you to place your things.
I'll
in.
just pay for Remy. I'll pay 2 silver for us.
Okay.
Like, now how exactly do you get Raimi to his room?
Either walk with him, or if he's literally passed out, just carry him.
Okay, I'll make another con save to see if if maybe that was too much.
As he keeps drinking.
Okay. Yeah, no. I rolled another natural 1.
Okay, he might be passed out then.
All right. Well, I'll tell you exactly. With 2 natural 1, I have actually made something for that. Because you all
Leans
seem
over
to be spending so
The
much.
audience. I'm not even a Kenku. I could speak normally. I just want the attention.
When he's super hammered, he can speak.
All right. Well, right now,
If it
he's
helps, his modifier is a 3, so even though they're natural 1s, they are 4s.
okay. All right. Well, he is nearly crawling, but you know, from time to time, he gets up and takes a few steps, then grab your arm again. Then you hear a comment about the world spinning. Then he makes another step and stops there. Then you hear a comment about why is the boat rocking so much? That's the kind of experience that you have getting him there.
Alright. Well, yep. Anyway, I'll make sure he gets to bed, and then
Well, Raimi would do one thing before you left. It's like, hey, buddy.
To audience or the dwarf?
To audience.
Okay.
oh, okay,
Like as he, like after like kind of like getting into his room.
okay. I'd be like, yes, Remy.
You're great. You're great, right?
Oh, you're great too, man.
And with that, Raimi like takes his talent. He grabs one of his feathers, kind of like closes his eyes and plucks it.
All right, yeah, definitely time to get Remy to bed. This man is.
Then he hands the feather to you.
Oh, okay. I will take the feather. I'll be like, hey, man, thanks, but you probably shouldn't be pulling your feathers out. I think you need to, those need to be on your body. I'll treasure this though. Let's get you to bed.
Yeah,
So
just,
add to my equipment or notes. I have a Kenku feather now.
actually, what? Would audience know much about Kenku?
No, we wouldn't.
I'd say very little. There's a good chance that you might not have been the first one he saw, but you most definitely were the first one he talked to.
It is just like as you tell him, like nodding, just kind of like feeling around, like kind of like feeling around at the room, like trying to get to the bed, and eventually just kind of crawls on top of it.
You see Remy going inside the room, and it's sort of like watching a baby trying to climb up on a bed.
I mean, I'll do the thing where I make sure he's like somewhat not gonna die in his sleep. You know,
On his side.
make sure you're on the sides. He doesn't
All
if
on
he
his
throws.
back.
Yeah.
He kind of he kind of like actually like starts putting a towel hand near the nightstand and kind of looks confused, and minor illusions his lantern.
Do I see his lantern?
It's either tied to his belt or inside his backpack.
He has the wherewithal to minor illusion the lantern, but not pull it off his belt.
I guess I would.
He doesn't have the wherewithal to know where it is.
I guess I would take his hand and put it on the lantern.
Like sets it up, sets it up on the nightstand. The lantern starts glowing, and then like Raimi just like looking into the light for a moment, and then just passes out right there.
Okay.
Pumping out twice as much power as he needed to inside the lantern. So it's basically, the way that this works, it's basically like fatigue, but for alcohol, which means it goes away when you sleep. So yeah, right now you'd have ability check, attack rolls, and saving throw at disadvantage, speed halved. So that's why, I mean, you're pretty slow and clumsy right now. So yeah, lantern and fall asleep. With none of the with the shutter still completely open, so it's a light spell inside of a room.
Yeah, and then I'd head back to my room and go to bed.
Alright. Alright, well, no problem. Taikar, you're the only one left. You saw your friends going up to their room one after the other. After the little, after your show, because you rolled so well, there are a few coins that are just left inside a mug in front of you. You find inside of the mug 1 silver and 15 copper.
All right. I am a inn busker.
So once the show is over, it's probably starting to be late. What do you do?
Thykar would just grab a mug of whatever is good and not like mind-meltingly strong, and like rent out a room unless one was provided for the drinks he encouraged people to take during his performance.
No, that's a good point. Make a persuasion roll.
All right. 12.
No, he doesn't seem to be very open to this, but he does say, well, all right, listen, I'm not gonna give you a free room, but I'll give you a free meal.
I bet I'll take him on it. And so it's 1 silver for a decent room.
Yeah, it's a very
All right,
small village.
I slapped 10 copper on the desk. Just getting rid of this garbage clogging up my my coin purse.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and have a pleasant stay. Thank you very much for all of the music. It was very appreciated.
I bow and look towards my now calm crowd. Thank you. I've been Thykar and you've been amazing, and I just walk back up to my room.
I've been Tiger and you've been
All right. You walk up to your room, still chewing on whatever was left, and he gave you probably a piece of bread and some cheese, and just slap them together, and just while you're walking back to your room. Get in.
The last things I've been eating for like the last 2 days, like a full ass baguette, and now just a piece of bread and cheese.
Well, actually, bread and cheese can keep you alive for a while.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm gonna get bloated as hell. Especially since I'm a bird. This shit's killing me.
What, you mean you're not used to eating pieces of bread?
Birds shouldn't eat bread. That's how they die.
Well, actually, I think it's because of the plastic, but you know. But yeah, probably.
That rednecks with BB guns.
So probably what was left, which, like I said, was probably this close to the ocean. No, it's closer to the city, so maybe something like dried meat, a little bit of bread, a little piece of cheese. He gave you a little bit more than the basic meal because of the performance that you gave. So take that with you, eat it while you're going, finish eating on your bed. You honestly look like you're
bed.
you you honestly look like you are about ready to go to bed.
Yeah, big day at work, and I have another one tomorrow. So,
oh goodness! All right.
Yeah, I'm just gonna lie down in bed, eat a bit. I'll just pull out my mirror and be like, you know what? You did good today. You look good. People feel good. You did good today. And then I'm gonna go to sleep.
When you say this, you hear the mirror answer. And it is exactly in your voice. It is something you recognize you've said. You hear, I am fucking awesome.
Damn straight, and I put the mirror down and go to sleep.
damn straight.
It is one of the phrases that he has learned from you.
Looks in the mirror. Hey, I have a question for you.
Okay.
If Sonic and Tails were to...
But you didn't drink.
No. I'll tell you one better. You look into the mirror. Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me.
I'd fuck me hard.
You so hard.
I'm trying to look at what I've written that he has learned from you so far. Not sure I have something to answer to that.
I'd be very surprised if through the words that I've said so far you have a coherent answer to that statement.
So you fall asleep with this moment of satisfaction, hearing the mirror saying that phrase. And you fall asleep, but while you're sleeping, you have this little privileged moment with your friend in the mirror. You fall asleep, and from your perspective, you just open your eyes and you're in a room. Looks like a nice room. And you look in front of you and you see a smaller version of you sitting cross-legged in front of you, looking at you. Does look a lot like what you see in the mirror. And you even recognize the color on the walls that you see behind your reflection in the mirror.
Okay. Yeah.
Turns around, takes a book. Shows you the book. There's nothing written on it, but it's a leather-bound book. He opens the book, opens the first page, and you see 4 things written on that page. You see what you just heard right before falling asleep. I'm fucking awesome. Few lines under it, you read, some folks like humorous track. Few lines under it, you read, performance for the ages. And the last line, you read, think about what you done. Closes the book and he says, and you see him go, point toward you.
I'm just looking at like a complete dumbass, and I'm gonna roll intelligence to see if I can do something that'll progress anything. 16, all right, perfect. He's gonna learn something useful.
All right.
So you can only say things that I've said. All right. So, hi, my name is Pip. Your name's gonna be Pip.
My name is fucking awesome.
You don't like Pip? Come on. How about Reggie? Fine. Probably say some dumbass word and you'll choose that as your name, but you won't take Pip. Okay. So, other than repeat after me, what do you actually do?
Do you also steal?
Takes a book, start drawing in the book. After a moment, turns the book, and you see an image of a man going for his wedding, and another person standing next to him with his arm on his shoulder, dressed slightly less imposing than him. And he points toward him. He points toward the person beside the person getting married. And when he points to you, he points toward the person getting married.
You're my best man? You're my wingman? Ah, funny.
But
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna have fun with you. You're gonna be fun. Way more fun than the others. They're a bit too, yeah, you know.
rectangle. Got it.
Oh
Alright. He nods, and way more fun than the others.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Looks at you now. Some people like humorous tracks.
Well, now you have to deal with the fact that that's over like 5% of your vocabulary. Huh. All right. So I'm still confused as to how you'll be able to help me through a mirror, which you can only talk through.
He looks back and he points toward the mirror. He looks at you. That pointing toward you.
Oh, you can come out the mirror? Awesome. Now, I get to understand all of this right now with Mini-Me, but as soon as Raimi wants to say something, like convey a very simple idea, I'm gonna be stumped as shit, not able to figure it out.
Well, it's easier because you're in a dream with your object, and there is a sense of intuition that helps you. While you're with Remy, you don't have that element of intuition.
All right. Well, I can't wait to have my new favorite traveling buddy around with me.
I'm fucking awesome.
That's right. Oh, this is gonna be grounds for amazing shenanigans. Just gotta learn the enlarge spell, and this is gonna be amazing. The magic. Huh. Do you know the magic that I know, or do you know your own spells? Oh, your own stuff. Awesome.
He looks at you
I'm
and
great.
he looks at you, he covers his mouth, and you hear from behind you, he's amazing.
Huh. That will actually come in super handy. All right. All right. All right. I like you. I like you a lot. I like me. Does that say a lot about me? Yeah, probably.
Performance for the ages.
That it'll be. That it will most certainly be. Yeah, I've been I'm doing that in game and out of game right now. I am so fucking clocked. Like, oh my
That's
god.
alright. I'm also doing this to say, well, it's okay, we can finish this session here. In D&D term, you just learned that yes, your mini you can climb out of your mirror, and he has the ability to use the thaumaturgy cantrip.
Sweet. All right. Thanks. This will be very fun.
All right.
And sorry for being so groggy, guys. I'm just super
You're good, dude.
I can understand that. I've been extremely tired in my life before. I went through almost 10 years of post high school studies, so I have spent weeks with only 15 minutes night.
You should not be alive.
Oh,
That's not-
you can last for a few days. Trust me, I know. Beyond that, you start falling asleep very easily.
All right.
All right. Well, your dream fades away and you fall back into sleep. And this is where we're going to end this session. And next session, if everyone's there, you will most likely be taking on the task of going inside the cavern and finding out whatever the heck is happening in there. So, thank you all for being with us. It has been a pleasure to have you with us. And everyone who joined in the chat, that's always fun to see. It's not often that I see activity in the chat, so it's very much appreciated. So, take care of yourself, and as always, if you enjoyed the show, you can support the stream by following us on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. You can also support us by making a donation, becoming a Patreon, because of course, right now, since I don't have subscription, it's the only way that I can get a little bit of money out of this. But I plan on trying to finish my secondary project for Dungeons and Dragons, and that's only going to be on YouTube and Patreon. So, the reason for you to visit that, or at least pay attention to what could happen in there. I will also advertise this with Twitter when it's ready. And of course, you can always simply spread the word about our channel. That's always a good way to get more people to join and have fun with us. At least I hope you're having fun. So, until next Wednesday.
Why are you here?
Until next Wednesday, take care of yourself. And especially in those last few months of very dangerous moment because of that beast of a problem that we all share around the world, stay healthy. See you all next week for another episode. Bye.
Good night.
Right.